trying to get that off. It just didn't want to come. I'm just using a 3-jaw puller, which is a little sketchy because it's off-centered with that. Ooh, that's sketchy too. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now I gotta get all that oil out of there. Let's see, is that on there? Sorry. Let's try to drain that oil. Nothing was on that seal, was on there tight. Definitely a groove in there. You can see it and feel it. So, okay. Well, that just needs to get replaced. I've ordered a new seal and a block-off plate from Luke. So we are going to put them back to the way they used to be, where they're grease bearings with the axle oil kept out. There'll be a plate that goes across the end with a seal that goes around here. That's how it used to be. It's just kind of a mess. Got everything all cleaned up here. So this here on the end, stand it up here, there's some flathead screws here that have to come out, and then that plate that holds the seal there will come out. Let's see. I don't have a screwdriver with me. Time out. I'll be right back and go grab it, and then we'll get that apart. Let's see if I can get this focused on there. Behave yourselves. Okay. Oh, sure. Of course. That requires an impact. Okie doke. Gotta love the use of flathead screws on everything in a bus. Sorry. I don't care about the seal. Let's get it replaced. Everything requires a hammer today. There it goes. So that's how that goes in. The seal goes in there. So that's the seal all the way up to there. I'll just knock that out with a installer in a minute. It's nice and tight in there though. That is going to require a clean rag. I don't know, is that showing up on the camera how nasty it looks in real life? Those need to be replaced along with the race, which I haven't even looked at the race, but you're not going to just replace that. All right, let's get it. Oh, crap. Sorry. I'm not very good at that. It apparently takes 3 hands to do what I'm trying to do, and my hand is all greasy. But yeah, it's got some wear in there too. It's not smooth feeling. It's got, I don't know how to describe it. You know when you get a new part and it's like covered in Cosmoline? That's kind of what that surface feels like. So that needs a new bearing and a new race. More parts. Oh, Cosmoline is like a, what it feels like, but I have all the tools to do that. We'll get new races, new bearings. It's gonna be one of those waiting on parts things again. Does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna go start to clean this up. I'm gonna be done. That was 15-minute job, took a half hour, of course. I really backed off that slack adjuster too much too. It's hitting the spring. I'm just trying to read some of your comments here. If there's something, if you had a question, I might have missed it. But yeah, I was just trying to describe the way that felt to me. It just feels weird. Yeah, we got a mess around here. The transmission, Lance went to go pick that up this morning, and it should be back here in a couple hours. He got it in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thanks, Mr. D Magic. Appreciate that. I don't know how to, let's see if I can pull that. Oh, there, let me touch it. That's the first time I've ever done that. You were my first one that I saw, at least. Yeah, today should be a fun day. And you're welcome. This is, I love working on buses. There's nothing more fun. I'm going to post a video a little bit later. We went through the air system on this bus. He had some pretty major air leaks, and we've got that all taken care of. Air system's pretty tight on here now. We have less, it's probably like a half a PSI a minute air we got here. And I'll go through all the steps and procedures in the video. I shot all the footage for it yesterday and today. I just haven't had a chance to edit it yet. We replaced a bunch of parts, and it wasn't his air horns. They weren't leaking. Yeah, those just press right out. They're no big deal. It's just steel in a aluminum hub. This didn't have the block-off seal. We will put the block-off seal back on it, only because it should never leak again if we put that back on there. Oh, is it less quality video today than yesterday? I'm deeper in the shop. That might be why. I do not have the air cleaner for Lenny yet. We're still making measurements and figuring that all out. I don't know if I have anything else. If I go over by the door, maybe it'll be a better quality signal. This is where we were at yesterday. I started knocking off dirt and stuff. Probably 5 pounds of dirt I knocked off of there. Yeah, we'll be out in Arizona coming up later this year or the first part of next year. Tyler's not feeling well today, so he's in the bus chilling. Yeah, all this stuff, if you just watch it, you can learn how to do it yourself. So, and the book is really good about explaining it. So in order to put that new transmission in, you're going to see things are going to get pretty aggressive in here. We have to cut this bulkhead out here. It gets cut, the whole piece of it, all the way from there to there. This opening gets widened up. Inside there, that gets wider. If you're ever curious about the angle of the V-drive on here too, it's like you're flush with the transmission here. If I turn this at a 45-degree angle, well, now you're looking right into the differential over there. And that's the pinion right there. So now you can see that's a 45-degree angle. So the engine is straight this way coming to the side of the bus, and then it goes off at a 45-degree angle into the pinion, which we're putting new seals on as well. I will be back down in Florida. I'm not really sure when. We usually spend our entire winters working down there in Florida. So I'm trying to figure out my tripod thing here. There we go. So yeah, we'll be back down there too. I just don't know when. It probably won't be till like February or something. I'm sure I got a bunch of clients down in Florida, and then all my, the friends, Sean and everybody down there in Fort Myers Beach. I'm sure we're gonna be hanging out with them for a while again too. Hello from Norway. Very cool. Yeah, this drive shaft that came out of this bus, it fought us. That was a several-hour fight. The biggest problem, there's no real rust issues on these buses, on the GMs, very, very rarely. But getting the caps out of the drive shaft, they didn't want to come. And then we had to, in order to remove the brake drum, there used to be a brake that was on the drive shaft on it. In order to remove that, on this airbag, I think Tyler had a video of it. If you don't watch Tyler's Indiana Diesel, you should. He's got a bunch of videos on this bus, things that I tried to let him shoot different stuff than what I was doing. But if I stick the camera in here with this flashlight, possibly, if you look at the bottom of this, oh, it doesn't let me turn it that way. I don't think it shows it when I do that. Well, the bottom of that airbag tower, the back corner of it, they cut it out. I can't show you, but Tyler has a video of it. I know he does. They cut it out, so we had to actually disconnect that airbag and lift it up in order to get the brake drum off of there. It was a total pain in the butt. A lot of times it's just easier on anything you're going to do on it just to pull the rear wheels off. South Dakota will be a while. I don't know how much travel in that way we're going to be. But yeah, we're going to go through Arizona all the way. I think we're even into Southern California. I got some clients lined up out that way. I have a huge waiting list for clients, so it's a little bit hard to add new people. If I happen to be going like right through your town or real close, sometimes I can add them on. Lenny is still getting Jake brakes. Actually, a viewer is sending me a set. They may be at home. I'm not home. I'm on the road so much, so I'm not sure if they're there or not, but he was going to send them out like a week or two ago. So they might be there for me. I'm still going to have to get a different valve cover for it. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be down in Naples. Frank always needs some work done on his bus down there, and Frank's been a customer for a long time, so I'm never going to ignore if Frank needs some maintenance. I'm going to make it down there, and I want him to be able to continue to use his bus as much as possible. If you don't know who Frank is, click on my playlists, and there's a playlist of just some of Frank's stuff on there. And if you don't already love him, you will once you watch it. He's pretty awesome, dude. I think he's 86 years old now, and he still drives that stick shift 4104 all around. He took it up to Michigan this year, and then back down to Naples again. That's a pretty damn long drive. Haven't heard from George, but he's got his new hub, so he should be able to get that thing rolling again. They're getting ready to tear down that building. Yeah, I don't need the warnings about gloves. I try to wear gloves, but it just doesn't work. I always assume that any of the brakes and any of the clutch parts in here have asbestos in them. I never blow things off with a blowgun or anything like that, and yeah, it's just too hard. I definitely miss Kelly. Kelly's not here, but Kelly is going to be coming late tonight. The fact that we always travel together, obviously, it's pretty hard not having her here when I'm doing all this stuff, shooting the video and everything too. It makes it a lot easier. So when she gets back, she'll be able to help with that too. But she's bringing some parts for the transmission swap stuff that I have kind of hoarded at home. Yeah, Peace, that's not even funny, dude. But I know she's not because she is at a bridal appointment with my daughter looking at wedding dresses this morning. This is all shot on my iPhone, the new one. Yeah, she doesn't even actually want to be on camera anymore because people will say some really nasty things on here, which is a shame. She's tired of that. Like that guy that was on the live stream yesterday, that guy was a real jerk. I didn't get to read all his comments because as soon as I was going through the live stream later to watch it, as soon as I saw like the first thing that he made a comment about, I was like, oh God, this guy's terrible. And I deleted him, and then I kept seeing people calling him names and telling him to stop it. So I apologize for that. I will make sure that we have some more moderators on here and when we do the live stream stuff. Mr. D Magic 88. I just lost it there. I'm getting myself an 84 Eagle. It has a Detroit. Not sure what series it is. Anything particular? Look for rust. Oh my God, look everywhere for rust. Look along the side if you see any kind of bulging in it. Look at the mounts where the suspension is. See how much adjustment is on the nut for the suspension. Oops, I don't know what I'm doing. The suspension adjustment on there, because once those torch elastics are maxed out, you're looking at big money to replace them, or do that mod that we did where we put airbags on it. Make sure that when you get there, when you start the engine, make sure that it's cold, and actually, make sure you tell them not to start it in the morning before you get there when you want to look at it. That's kind of cheating. If somebody puts a block warmer on it, or they have it running like a half hour, an hour before you get there, I want to feel that engine and make sure it's just as cold as it is outside. If there's any warmth to it, I'm going to walk away and come back another day. Because when they start cold, that tells you a lot of things about what's going on with them compared to when they start warm. Most of them will start really easy when it's warm. So that's just kind of a trick. Keep an eye out for that stuff. I would definitely have somebody check it out too. I'm probably not available to do stuff like that unless I'm in the air, just happen to be in the area where it is. Most buses, it's not worth it either to pay a mechanic, $2,000 or $3,000 to come out and go through all the systems on it and check it all out on a $5,000 bus. It's just not worth it. So if you're getting something for $3,000 to $5,000, you kind of get what you pay for, kind of thing. You pretty much so figure that any bus that you're going to buy is going to need easily $10,000 into it within the first few months. I don't know. I'm going to move back over here because maybe it'll work better. Oh, I got to grab my drink though. I'm thirsty. I'm definitely going to still turbo my bus, but that's at least a year away. I've always said that. And I will say that I'm so much happier with the way that it's tuned right now, and the power that I have with it. Yeah, I love the 4-valve head. I love the exhaust. We're still going to make it quieter. It doesn't mean that I don't love it the way that it is. We're going to put that other glass pack, that one that Chris had. We're going to cut the exhaust on the bottom, flip it 180 degrees. That'll give us room to run that other one horizontally under the engine there, and then come back out the other side. Yeah, I don't understand why people are mean, especially on like our channel. I mean, we're pretty mellow about what we do, and I don't try to attract idiots, but unfortunately they find us. And we're in Franklin, Tennessee. If anybody wants to come out and help us, just give me a text or something, and I'll get you the address to where we are, especially tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, when that transmission's going in. We definitely could use another couple sets of hands. That transmission weighs over 1,000 pounds. And again, that flywheel weighs, I think it's close to 400 pounds, just the damn flywheel. It's basically the same dimension as that, but solid. Maybe it's only 300 pounds. I have a special hook. You can't even lift it by hand, though, I'll tell you that. There's a hook that goes on it, and then I bring it in with the cherry picker and swing it on there. Hopefully all the parts are going to come in that we've ordered. That we can't do anything until the rear main seal gets on there. We ordered new flywheel bolts too. You don't want to reuse those flywheel bolts. And I don't think the video really showed some of the quality, what was going on that friction plate and stuff like that either yesterday. We're running the original cable. It came out of he's got the shift tower and linkages and everything that came out of I think it was an RTS. We're hoping that it's the correct length. I suppose it depends on how we run it to get us all the way from the front to the back. So he'll have a shift tower to be able to shift it. Otherwise, he'll be looking for an air shifter, I think. We do have one issue where the modulator that comes with the transmission, there's a modulator that goes on there. Basically, it stops it from shifting. Like if it was just ready to shift as you let off of the throttle, it stops it from doing that because it knows you're just getting ready to slow back down again. Basically, that's the Cliff Notes version of what it does. But the one that's on it is an air modulator, which is meant to be hooked up with an air throttle, and we don't have an air throttle on here. So we're either going to need to add to an air throttle or get a manual modulator adjustment for that transmission, which has a cable that runs to it. And if you're not familiar with that, we did hook one of those up on that the McDonald's bus that we did earlier this year that had that engine that went in from a fire truck into it. I don't think that noise gets old, man. It's you driving down the road, if you roll the window up, you don't even hear it. Well, you barely hear it. It's just a hum in the back. But you roll the window down, you go by a concrete barrier, oh my God, it sounds so cool. And it also means that nobody hangs out next to you when you're driving. I'll get a lot of people that'll just hang out in that blind spot, but with that exhaust the way it is, nobody hung out in my blind spot. There is a little, like a tunnel thing on I-65 that I'm going to go through when I head north out of here. That's going to be fun. It's not, I don't know if you call it a tunnel, but it's a covered road like that. It's an overpass, but it's tunnel-esque. Thank you, Andy, for that. That was awesome. I don't know how to pull back up comments when somebody leaves a comment on the live chat thing. So I got to read fast. This just came out of the paint shop. I don't know if I really showed it very well, but the paint came out real nice. It's a beauty. Yeah, they would go Duff if they hung out in that spot because that shit is loud. Yeah, Franklin's just south of Nashville. This is Bill's Eagle too. This is a really nice Eagle. He did this conversion. They raised the roof on it. It's super nice. He's got a project for me on this one coming up where we've replaced his hydraulic. It's a hydraulic powered fan on it. I have several videos on it. We've done it like twice. And we had to replace the motor. We flushed the system and it's leaking again. He's giving up on it now. I don't blame him. We're converting it to a manual belt-driven gearbox on the fan, and everything's supposed to come in on a pallet, I think, today. But yeah, this is Bonnie Blue too. He used to have one called Bonnie Blue. It was a 4104, and he's like a retired New York cop. He's a pretty cool dude. I don't carry a spare. Yeah, I try to block people, but again, I try to post a lot of stuff where people know where I'm at, and I just got to watch that, because there are creeps out there. And then, like I said, yesterday I didn't have anybody watching the feed because it was just me and Tyler here, so. Oh, you can see I made a mess here this morning with that hub. This is Bill's shop. I got to get that cleaned up. Yeah, it's going to be a miter box like what came out of actually, this one came out of another Eagle. They didn't use this hydraulic fan setup for very long because it continually had problems with it. He has a huge oversized radiator in it. I have videos of it. You can check the videos out later. The oversized radiator is great to have, but it is a pain in the butt to work on because anytime you got to remove it or get to it, it's just so large. It's completely stuck in a hole where it almost doesn't fit. It's got like a 1/2-inch clearance all the way around it. Yeah, I have several female clients that own buses, if that's what somebody was asking me. I know that one of the ladies, I forgot who I was just talking to, when she parks her bus at night and stuff like that, she leaves like a pair of men's boots and then women's boots outside of her bus as a safety thing so that somebody doesn't realize that she's, by herself. That's kind of a neat thing to do. So we're going to get in here and get this cleaned up and start cutting everything out. I've never done a install of a V730 before, like the swapping it from the manual, but I've worked on a bunch of buses where I pulled it out of and worked on it. So I've basically done everything on it, replaced the flywheel. It's just the modifications on the bulkhead that I've never done before, but I've got great pictures and details from my friends, and we've got all the parts coming from that. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, guys. I appreciate all the chatting with you. Maybe a little bit later today, if I have time. When the stuff gets here, we'll try to do another one. Today, because we're mostly just going to be waiting on parts and stuff, not a whole lot that we can do other than the modifications of the bulkhead when we start getting in there and cutting everything out. It has to be reinforced, so the stuff that we're moving must be accommodated for somewhere else. to stiffen everything back up. Otherwise, it'll start cracking and splitting, and we don't want that. So we got to be real careful about what we do there. So, yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. That was fun.